In the days of the reign of Darius, fear and envy took hold of many hearts. Darius, a king who ruled over a vast empire, chose 120 governors to administer the various regions of his kingdom. Over them, he placed 3 trusted supervisors, whose task was to ensure that these administrators worked fairly and efficiently. Among these supervisors was Daniel, a man of unwavering faith and extraordinary wisdom. Daniel stood out so much in his duties that King Darius began to consider elevating him to an even higher position, placing him above all the governors and supervisors. Such a decision, however, sparked the envy of the other officials. Unable to bear seeing Daniel prosper, the administrators and supervisors began to secretly plot, seeking a way to bring him down. Day after day, they observed Daniel, trying to find any flaw in his conduct. They scrutinized his deeds and actions, hoping to find some mistake they could use against him. However, Daniel was blameless in all his duties, both regarding the king and in his personal life. Discouraged, the conspirators reached a conclusion. We will never find anything against Daniel unless it is related to the law of his God. Thus, they devised a cunning plan. They knew that Daniel's devotion to his God was unwavering and that he would never compromise his faith. So, with cunning, the men approached the king and said, "O great King Darius, all of us, administrators and supervisors, have come to a consensus. We believe you should issue a royal decree ordering that for the next 30 days, no one may petition any god or man except you, O king. And if anyone disobeys, let them be thrown into the lion's den." Darius, flattered by the proposal that exalted his name and position, saw no harm in the idea. He then signed the decree and sealed it with his ring, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which, once passed, could not be altered. When Daniel learned of the new law, he was not shaken. He knew that his devotion to the God of Israel was greater than any human decree. With courage, Daniel returned to his house and, as usual, went up to his room on the upper floor, where the windows were open toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he knelt and prayed, giving thanks and seeking the presence of God. The conspirators spying on Daniel saw him in prayer. That was exactly what they had hoped for. Without wasting time, they ran to the king's palace and maliciously reported Daniel. "O king, did you not decree that for 30 days no one could petition any god or man except you? Know then that Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah, has disobeyed your decree. He prays 3 times a day to his God." Upon hearing these words, King Darius's heart was filled with sorrow. He loved and respected Daniel, and he knew that he had been deceived by the conspirators. Throughout the rest of that day, the king tried in every way to find a way to save Daniel, but the men who had plotted against him were relentless. They reminded the king that according to the law of the Medes and Persians, no royal decree could be revoked. With no other option, Darius ordered that Daniel be arrested and thrown into the lion's den. However, before sealing the fate of his faithful servant, the king whispered to Daniel with regret, "May your God, whom you continually serve, save you." Daniel was taken to the lion's den, an underground prison where hungry wild beasts were kept. The guards threw Daniel into the den, and a large stone was placed over the entrance, sealed with the king's ring and the rings of his nobles, ensuring that no one could interfere. That night, Darius returned to his palace, but guilt and sorrow would not leave him in peace. He refused any food, turned away from the distractions of music, and could not close his eyes. The king spent the entire night in agony, thinking about Daniel's fate. At dawn, Darius rose hastily and ran to the lion's den. His mind was consumed with a mixture of hope and despair. Approaching the den, the king called out in a trembling voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you continually serve, been able to rescue you from the lions?" To his immense joy, a voice responded from within the den. It was Daniel, alive and unharmed. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions so that they did not hurt me, for I was found innocent before him. And also, against you, O king, I have committed no offense." Upon hearing these words, Darius was overjoyed. Immediately he ordered that Daniel be brought out of the den. When the guards removed the stone and brought Daniel out, everyone saw that he did not have a single scratch, for he had trusted in his God. But the story does not end there. The king, still furious with the conspiracy that had put Daniel's life at risk, ordered that the men who had accused him be thrown into the same lion's den along with their families. Before they could even reach the bottom of the den, the lions attacked and tore them apart. With this event, Darius acknowledged the power of Daniel's God. He wrote a new proclamation, which was sent to all parts of his vast kingdom. "From me, a decree is made that in all the dominion of my kingdom, men must fear and tremble before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God and endures forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed, and his dominion will last until the end. He rescues, saves, and performs signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. It was he who rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." Daniel continued to prosper during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. His unwavering faith in God kept him steadfast amidst adversity and persecution. He knew that serving the true God was more important than any human decree or mortal danger. The story of Daniel in the lion's den is a powerful example of courage, faithfulness, and trust in God's power. Even in the face of death, Daniel stood firm in his faith, knowing that God was in control. His life serves as an eternal testimony that when we are faithful to God, He is faithful to protect and deliver us, whether in the midst of hungry lions or in any other circumstance we may face. Help spread the message of the Lord Jesus by liking this video, leaving your comment, and subscribing to the channel.